Do we have a Pastor McBride in the house? No? Okay. What's that?
What was the name?
Pastor McBride from Sunrise Church?
Okay.
I think
Tim can do it.
No, listen. We have to wait for him. Oh,
He's
he's
back
there.
there.
Okay,
He's
I
there.
can't see him.
Tim's there.
He always comes through.
Okay.
He told me to say, make sure they don't start without me, so I'm just relaying.
Oh, I was.
Okay, we had nothing to report out in closed session. It was just information. Call to order.
Roll call.
Roll call, trustee Henderson.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Pinkerton.
Here.
Trustee Wood is nearby. Trustee Tarpley.
Here.
Student trustee Fulton.
Present.
Superintendent President Walden.
Here.
Do you want me to go get him? I can hear him.
Okay, and then we,
I'm like, I'll go get him.
okay. Pledge of Allegiance. Todd? Todd, you wanna?
Yes. Flag is up here. Put your right hand over your heart. Again.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tim, would you come up and lead us in our prayer? We had Pastor McBride scheduled from Sunrise, so hopefully something didn't happen. They did confirm. So, Tim, thanks for coming up and helping out.
Maybe that's somebody else's voice. That's it, right? Yes, we actually are. It's the prayer.
Hang on. No
This
problem,
guy.
sir. All right. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today and this opportunity to represent the students and the community of Victor Valley. Father, we thank you for this college. We thank you for what it means to our students. We thank you for the end of another school year where we are graduating students. Father, we pray that you will guide us tonight with wisdom. Help us to put aside personal differences and focus on what matters to our students and to our community. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Tim.
That was a good prayer.
Closed session report out. No, there was no vote taken, no action. Just information. Announcement of items deleted or corrected from the agenda.
There are none.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna have board communication at this time, the board trustees.
No, we have public comment.
Okay, public comments. Okay. Oh, there they are. Okay, 4-1. Public comments related to non-agenda items. And I've got several of them here. This is it. Patricia Grole. Grole?
Good afternoon. I am a retiree from Victor Valley College. I reluctantly retired this past January from admissions and records here at VVC. I had long-term COVID when it first came out and could not continue to age 70, which is what I had planned to do. Admissions and records worked on campus during the campus closure and not at home for the most part. I was very dedicated to VVC and our students. I was at the front counter and loved it. I graduated myself in 2008 at age 50, and I shared that with many of our students. I encouraged our older students to participate in graduation because most of the time they weren't going to do it, and they did. And it was nice to be able to volunteer at graduation and see the students that I'd helped. I always enjoyed working at graduation. The retro COLA would have a great impact on my retirement personally, amount that I receive, because if we got that, it would add to my wages that I'd worked for those years. I tried to stay until the negotiations were complete, but I was unable to because of my health. I hope that my dedication to VVC made an impact on the school, and therefore I feel being paid retroactively is a fair thing to do. This would be very helpful as I am moving out of state in a few months. Thank you.
Okay, Curtis. Curtis?
Worley.
Yeah, Gurley. Husband Curtis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I personally have not worked for VVC. However, I have dealt with many union issues over the last 47 years of my employment at the Walt Disney Company. I'm speaking here today in behalf of all the retirees. My understanding is that the board does not want to grant retro COLA to your retirees. Had they been granted the COLA when it was issued by the state of California, we would not be having this meeting here today. My personal belief is that not paying them the COLA is actually taking money away from them, not only on their weekly or monthly salaries, but also in their retirement. This is a major thing for these people. Most of these people need and deserve what they've worked so hard to do. So please, consider this and grant this COLA to these workers and to everybody else on campus. Thank you.
Patricia Bulk, B-U-C-K.
Good evening, Dr. Walden and Board of Trustees. My name is Patricia Buck. I've been an employee at Victor Valley College for over 17 years. I am currently serving our students as an EOPS specialist. I am speaking to you out of concern for my program. I participated in the study completed by Coffin Associates. The EOPS specialist job title and job duties were analyzed by Coffin Associates and rewritten with the title and job duties of a student services assistant. The job duties listed for a student services assistant does not encompass the daily support I provide to my EOPS director, staff, and students. EOPS is the largest categorical program on this campus, serving 1,100 students this year. This type of program requires high support and coordination to ensure students receive a 5-star or Aspen-like experience. One of the essential functions of my job is to, and I quote, direct EOPS operational functions in the absence of the supervisor. As the EOPS specialist, I have fulfilled this function several times over the past 10 years. A student service assistant does not fulfill this critical need for their job duties. Serving as a student services assistant would overall diminish the vital support I provide to the EOPS program and impact the student experience. I have proudly served as a EOPS specialist at Victor Valley College for 13 of the 17 years I have been employed here. I kindly request your consideration in granting me the opportunity to sustain my current position, enabling me to consistently, deliver exceptional service to the unique student population served by EOPS during their higher education journey. Thank you for your time.
Rennie Toms.
My name is Rennie Toms. I'm your lead systems programmer analyst. I spent the last 10 years working my tail off for this college. If you ever wondered who was working the weekend before registration to make sure the new registration system was ready, that was me. You may have noticed we gained a lot of efficiency over the last couple of years using electronic forms. I'm the one who put together a Node.js-based API server with more than 3,000 lines of code to do that. The MIS department has been asked to do more with less. The SaaS project to move college to the cloud is a huge undertaking, and at the same time, we've watched 3 people retire without replacement. The first was our senior user liaison more than 3 years ago. After she left, I spent a year getting more and more stressed, trying to get all the work done. Eventually, I realized that I had to let go and accept that my department wouldn't be able to provide the same level of support it had in the past. Now I find that despite all my hard work and dedication, the district wants to demote me by reduction in title. I have no doubt of this fact because this is posted to the logs on our website. Why does the district want to demote me? I suspect it comes down to the Coffin Associates study. The same study that placed our web developer and network manager in the same job title, Information Systems Analyst. I think they fundamentally misunderstand how specialized information technology has become. This is much like placing electricians and plumbers under one job description, home repair specialists. You should no more expect a web developer to fix a problem with your network hardware than an electrician to fix a slab leak. And when the district needs a network manager, posting an information systems analyst job is not going to draw the right people. I know I wouldn't have applied for a senior information systems analyst position that they placed me in. I haven't been at the senior level in more than 20 years, and I'm first and foremost a programmer. I challenged the Coffin Associates assignment of my position, as did many classified. When we did so, they sent form letters in response. Okay. It was extremely upsetting to all of us that it was that informal. Our CIO at the time tried to argue with them, and they didn't listen to him either. I have talked to many coworkers over the past year. The combination of the Coffin Associates study, which in our view undervalued classified staff, threatening demotions and Y rating, along with a 2-year delay in COLA while facing double-digit inflation, has reduced morale to a level I have not seen before in my 35 years in the working world. I'm here to ask President Walton to reconsider joining the negotiations. We could really use your leadership at this time. Thank you for your time.
I got it. Calab Castanitas.
Haley.
Yeah. He knows who it is.
So I am a professor in the philosophy department here at Victor Valley College. I brought my 2 children. I have 3, but I spared you the toddler. But we're here to ask for part-time health care. Very rarely is there a budgetary ask that could have such a huge impact with such a tiny impact on the budget. And the governor's actions to fully fund part-time health care gives us that unique opportunity. Yeah, we can go to the Covered California Exchange, but let me tell you a little bit about what that is kind of like. So the Covered California Exchange works on annualized projected incomes, whereas Medi-Cal works on a monthly basis, monthly income. So what's not uncommon, because the cutoff for a family of 4 is $41,000 for 138% of the federal poverty level. So if you are teaching a full-time load, it's not uncommon to be getting about $39,000 per year in the California community college system. So when you go to apply for Covered California, they will look at your income and they will say, oh, you don't make enough, so let's send you to Medi-Cal. Then Medi-Cal will get you, and they will say, okay, well, what income did you get in this month? And they'll say, oh, that's too much, because we're paid over like 9 or 10 months instead of 12, right? So then they'll send you right back to Covered California. And you may actually, within the year, you may actually end up having to switch providers several times, depending on what income you're making. So it's very inconvenient. It causes problems for continuity of care. And we would just really appreciate being able to have stable health care that would be able to cover our families and ensure that we get access to the care that we need. So I'd very much appreciate it if you would add that to the offerings. I believe my daughter would like to say something to you. Is that right, Olivia?
Thank you for letting me speak to you. Can you please give my family health care?
Misty Hughes. We got an entourage.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I wanted to bring some light to things that my colleagues and I have concerns about. Last month, we were provided with the full changes, job descriptions, pay ranges suggested by the COF study. And we're just curious on who reviewed these, HR management, department directors, negotiation teams. I'm told that my union has to deal with it, and my union tells me the negotiation team refuses to make any changes. The COF company is an outside company with minimal knowledge about us and the way we operate, and it showed. What they came up with doesn't even make sense. There were a lot of job descriptions that were minimized. For example, Office of Instruction and Curriculum and Scheduling Coordinators, Reba and Anne Marie, they were put on lower ranges than the IPSs. Their jobs do all the buildings for colleague, degree audit building, programs, courses, contracts, scheduling. The college catalog, not to mention they train the IPSs. How does putting them under an IPS make sense? How did this not get caught? Another example is admissions. The COF study lumped admissions with all the student services. We're all now student service technicians, help desk, call center. Not all changed though. Financial aid was left a specialty department and put on a higher range. Without admissions, there wouldn't be a need for financial aid. There wouldn't be a need for other departments because without admissions, we don't have students. It takes so much work and knowledge to be in admissions, and honestly, 2 to 3 years to feel comfortable. We recently hired an educated young woman with experience in financial aid, and she quit in less than 3 weeks. The information was too overwhelming and too much to learn. Everyday admissions works with every department on campus. Students, instructors, deans, Office of Instruction, financial aid, counseling, ASB. We do more than just register students. We are helping instructors with their grades, census, positive attendance, training them, and more. We assist counselors with when they need to determine course eligibility for degrees. We evaluate external transcripts. We graduate students and post their degrees. We're processing all the petitions or residency and actually learning rules about AB 540, Dreamers, refugees. International and residency is a job in itself. We're responsible for block registering all the special programs, attending all their needs, corrections, requests, so programs can run smoothly. We work with Office of Instruction in building the programs and degree audits. We work with IT doing all the footwork and reviewing hundreds of daily students' applications to make sure these students get into our system, running reports, running student blocks so they can register every day now, running student information, setting up calling so it runs correctly, and more. Last but not least, 15 seconds, okay. Granted the amount of knowledge it takes to work in admissions, we could go to a lot of other departments and assist. But it isn't the case if other departments are thrown into ours. It takes a lot. And I'm cut, but I had more.
Make a motion to extend for 60 seconds.
Second.
Okay, thank you. If our admissions team was gone tomorrow, the campus literally couldn't operate. We're a specialty department with a lot of unique training, skills, and knowledge. Other colleges even specialize it more by having their own evaluations team as a separate department. And how is it that we've been marginalized and demoted and placed in a marginalized and demoted? I hope that someone, ideally all sides of management, HR, negotiations, and our union will go through this information and make it make sense. It seems to us this information was sent from the cough company and not much done with it. From our point of view, we just want people to care. Thank you for your time.
Lauren Golder.
Hello again, trustees and Dr. Walden. My name is Lauren Golder. I'm on the board of the VVC Part-Time Faculty United AFT 6286. I've been an instructor in the history department of VVC for 4 years now. First, I want to start off by thanking VVC for everything you've offered us in negotiations so far. We really appreciate your willingness to increase our pay and to partially fund healthcare for part-time faculty. These are huge. We're so grateful. And so we're here tonight to ask you to consider using the available money from the state of California to fund our health insurance at 100%, which would be the same as full-time faculty. As we've said before, this plan will not cost the college any money, and our state-level union, CFT, has done research showing that the funding from the state is not at risk of running out anytime in the foreseeable future. And, of course, we provided some contingency plans to ensure the college would not have to spend extra money. Furthermore, CFT, the governor, the chancellor's office, and our local will all work together to ensure that this state funding continues so that our members can have fully funded healthcare and the college will not have to pay for it. Now, I have a statement from one of our members who couldn't be here tonight, Deanna Sherrick, who is an RN and works in the VVC Nursing School. I'm going to read it on her behalf. I, Deanna Sherrick, give Lauren permission to read my testimony and voice my support for fully funded health insurance for all part-time faculty at Victor Valley College. Even though we're part-time, our contributions to the college are vital for our students' educations and futures. It's in everyone's best interest for part-time faculty to have healthcare coverage. This gives us a way to seek help and to stay healthy to serve our students. I believe that health, prevention, and maintenance are deeply important for all individuals. As a registered nurse and a clinical instructor for Victor Valley School of Nursing, we're teaching our students the importance of health, maintenance, and care. I see many sick individuals that need medical care but don't have health insurance, and many avoid seeking necessary care because of the cost. In this day and age with COVID, flu, and other communicable diseases, it's vital that part-time faculty at VVC get full healthcare coverage. That's the end of Deanna's statement. I just want to reiterate, fully funded healthcare for part-time faculty will not cost the college any money, and it's simply the right thing to do. This healthcare proposal is a great opportunity for VVC to act in a way that aligns with our values of being a caring campus. Please accept the state funding and fully implement the AFT's part-time faculty healthcare proposal here at VVC. Thank you.
Nancy Christensen.
Hi, I'm Nancy Christian. I worked for VVC at the Performing Arts Center for more than 30 years and also worked several years as an adjunct professor or faculty member for the Theater Arts Department. It is brought to my attention that the district is planning to not include retirees for the retro COLA, even though we were employees of the district. It has always been past practice to include retirees during contract negotiations. Our current contract has been expired for 2 years, of which I was still employed during most of that time period. However, the district is ignoring that fact when it is making their decision to exclude the retirees from the effects of these negotiations. As a retiree, it is my hope that the board understands and respects my many years of service and follows the example of previous administrations and include retirees when making the decision in regards to retro pay. Thank you.
Valerie Morales.
Good evening. Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Valerie Morales, and I have been a part-time counselor at Victor Valley College for 6 years. I have worked in general counseling, outreach, and worked with the veteran students along with their dependents. I am here today with my union, AFT 6286, to urge you to make use of the new money from the state to fully fund health care for part-time faculty. Health care is important to me so that I can get my medications, see my doctor if I need to, get my labs done, and not worry about going to the ER to have to pay thousands of dollars because I don't have health care. Part-time faculty work hard for VVC, and this is a simple thing the district can do to improve our lives. Thank you.
April Allen.
Good evening. We appreciate the movement on the health care for all part-time faculty. We are very close to settling the contract, and we're really excited about doing that. I want to encourage the board to utilize the $200 million from the state. The district will be reimbursed 100%. At our last negotiations, we had someone from CFT present all the schools that had taken the health care, and it didn't add up to even close to $200 million. So we're still good. The college will be reimbursed for every dime, so there will be no money coming out of their pockets. So our part-time faculty really need health care. Thank you.
Erica Colasso, is that right? Erica?
Hello, my name is Erica Cuyasos. I am an adjunct instructor for VVC Music Department. I have worked there for 6 years, and I'm here to ask you to use the state money to fully fund healthcare for part-time faculty. This is my alma mater. I am here to speak on behalf of my instructors that I've had in the past. They were wonderful instructors who helped mold me and make me who I am today. I'm here for the adjuncts of today, the ones that have left because they could not get full-time employment here at VBC. And I came here as one of the instructors who helped the students of VBC prosper. It is very important for me to be a part of VBC. I love being an instructor here. The students mean everything to me, and I want their dreams to come true. And it is interesting to me to find that as an adjunct, which is a huge part of VBC staff, that we are seen as other. Not as important as full-time faculty when we are only adjuncts because that is the only position to be filled. We work very hard and we love our jobs and we're not leaving. You know, we're not gonna go anywhere. So with that being said, when you value something or someone, it shows. And right now, it is clear that we are not seen as valued. Help your teachers be able to take care of their families and focus on being the best educators that they can be, instead of having to focus on how to survive while trying to be the best teacher they can be, because that's what we're doing. We are working our best to take and change the lives of our students. And we're not going anywhere. So please accept the state funding and fully implement the union's part-time faculty healthcare proposal here at VBC. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, move on. Board of Trustees goals.
So staff is recommending that due to your special call board meeting last night, when you did your self-evaluation and analyzed your goals, and those will be voted on this next month, whether you, in regard to your summation of your progress, that this be passed over tonight.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
You don't need to do that, okay.
Okay.
Too late.
All in favor? Student trustee?
You don't have to.
Okay. Superintendent President's report.
Individual Board of Trustees reports, 6.1.
Okay. Yeah, we're working on that, right?
No, that was board goals.
Oh,
This
goals,
is your,
okay.
your report.
Okay. Board of Trustees reports. Sharon?
Well, let's see. I went to a few things this last couple of months. One of the things I went to was today was the VVC Foundation Scholarship Awards. And I want to introduce one of our recipients. It's Danielle Dickinson and her husband. I'm going to show them off here.
Hi, Danielle Dixon and Ivan Dixon.
Ivan.
Nice to meet everyone. And thank you for all that you guys did. Being 52 and starting this journey, we don't qualify for a lot of programs, so the scholarship is really going to help me, and I was really touched. So I received the 19 It's Never Too Late to Bloom scholarship, and I'm really, really fortunate, and I appreciate you guys and what you guys are doing here at Victor Valley College.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do?
I'm actually going to become a lawyer, so I graduate tomorrow.
That is why Trustee Pinkerton and I invited her here tonight, because we wanted her to get some FaceTime with the great Brandon Wood.
He told me about you, so that's why I'm here.
I hope it was good things.
Yeah, but was it good?
That's
always, you
That's
gotta
why I'm
watch
here.
it. Huh?
That's why I'm here. He told
Okay.
me nothing but good things, and he wanted to personally introduce me.
It's all lies. We paid John really well.
Thank you.
And the other thing I went to was the Theater Arts Tempest. And is Brian here, can tell us about how many people were there? By the way, that was really a good play.
Good evening, members of the board, as well as everybody else out here. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Thank you for giving me a moment to speak tonight. My name is Brian Raymond. I'm one of the adjunct instructors over in the Theater Arts Department. With the vast number of opportunities for our students on campus, and in turn the incredible number of events present on campus at any one time, it is understandably impossible to attend every sporting event, every art show, and every theatrical or musical performance on campus. This is why, with the encouragement of Mrs. Sharon Pinkerton and her lovely husband, John, I'm here to let you know a little bit of what we've been up to over in the Theater Arts Department. Last month, with the assistance of myself, 4 other instructors, the staff in the Performing Arts Center, and over 40 student actors, designers, and technicians, the VVC Theater Arts Department produced our first ambitious theater performance in close to a year and a half with William Shakespeare's The Tempest. Under the guidance of our new incoming department chair, Emily Ruiz, as our director, we put on 7 performances over a span of 2 weekends at the end of May. Each of those performances had a seating capacity of approximately 80 patrons. We completely sold out 3 of our shows and came close with most of the rest of them. Over the span of our run, we sold a grand total of 458 tickets, and we confidently say that this is our most successful production since before the pandemic. Both students and staff are incredibly proud of what we accomplished. Theater is finally back at Victor Valley College, and we will be announcing a fantastic 2023-2024 season very soon. Us instructors are already having design meetings and finding students who want to be involved in the design and production process so we can help set them up for success in the field of theater arts. Hopefully, I will be back with my colleagues and some of our students next time so we can invite you all to our fall productions. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your evening.
They do such a fantastic job in what they do, and I hope that when they have more of these come up, which will probably be in the fall and spring, you guys got to go to it. They do such a beautiful job. Costumes, makeup, everything. So the next thing I went to is the art show and the study-a-thon. And if I could get Anna or Robert, tell us the numbers of people that came out to this.
Good evening. We are very thankful to everyone who support promoting the programs, the study-a-thon that we had back 2 weeks ago in June 2nd. It was the first time that the arts department, the music department, and different services program get together. They help the student learn, get ready for the work that they need to do to take the final exam. You want to elaborate on that?
It was a collaborative event, and we really hope to put on an event like this every semester where we can involve other departments and other groups of people. And it was a tremendously successful event. We really, I think, are serving the community and as well our students. And I hope that this will be something that will grow over the years.
And our hope is to involve more departments, more services program, because we believe that the more we involve faculty, students, the greater the success for our student. And thank you for everything that you guys have supported us to give us the opportunity to serve our students. And in terms of numbers, that was a really surprising is that over 1,000 students show up for the event. And the only comment that I keep hearing as I walk around helping the event is they want more event like this. Why can't we have something like this every day? Thank you.
Stuff like this brings in a lot of people in the community and to our school, and that's what we want to see. And they did a fantastic job, and I love this lady. She is fantastic putting this, and Robert and the ASB putting this whole program together.
Yes, and what's surprising us too is that the amount of students who came as a learning. That is something that we are very proud of, is to get the student coming in as a one-day event. All they do is just learning, and we just prep them all the material they need to take the final exam.
All right, thank you. And the other thing I went to was the multicultural event. I want to thank Monica for that. Did a beautiful job, and the ASB and the DEI team did a wonderful job. If any of you can ever get over there, it's really a nice place to go. I feel very comfortable there. Then the other thing I went to was the Asian Polynesian. That was really a nice event, brought out a lot of people. I also went to the paramedic graduation. That was a beautiful graduation, and if any of you, when they have the graduation, can come to it, it would be really appreciated. Show your support. I went to the firefighter graduation, and then also the police, post-police officer training, and Brandon was the speaker, and that was really a good speech. And also went to the adult graduation this last week, and I think we had over about 700 graduates from the adult education. And I think that, oh yeah, and I did go to the pie. That's an equation. But it's also for pie too, but I didn't get any. There you go. And that's pretty much it for me. Thank you,
That's all.
everybody.
Trustee Pinkerton, both of you, former trustee John Pinkerton, I want to say, I think in behalf of this board and past boards and future boards, we thank you for all the events that you're able to attend in our behalf. Some of us know Trustee Wood, he's in the private sector, so sometimes he can't get out of court, and unfortunately, because of traveling, sometimes I can't get there, so we do appreciate what you do. Last month, as a part of my goal in better connecting the community and the college, we held a lunch upstairs catered by our great chef. We had about 20 members of the mining industry there, and they were very clear that they want to have a deep, deep relationship with us, that they're willing to donate very serious and very expensive equipment to us, and that they're looking for that program. So Dr. McKenzie, I know you're here somewhere. John, Todd, Dr. Todd, and Dr. Walden, thanks. I thought it was very, very successful, and when you can engage 20 people from the mining industry, very few people know it, that the mining industry is actually the #1 economic engine in the entire high desert region. Very few people know that. So it was great to have them there. I'd like to publicly thank Steve Terrell from Mitsubishi and those people from Omnia and from Cal Portland that were there. Last Friday, I went down and with the help of Kirsten from the foundation office and Chris Nunez, was able to get some real quick information on the amount of support that Victor Valley Community College and the foundation has received from the San Manuel Band of Indians. Their chairwoman, her nickname is, her name's Lynn, I can't pronounce her last name. She's been chairwoman 6 times in a row. She was at a private lunch down in Upland. So I went down really with the intent of getting her business card, which I did, and I met her executive assistant. And I thought by driving down there and sitting down and having lunch with her, I would get her email address, get quicker access to try to find out if we could get some more help up here. I want to say this. The San Manuel Band of Indians has some historical, ancestral areas out near the Rancho Las Flores area, Las Flores Ranch area where Tapestry is. They have given to our college probably in excess of $400,000 in the last couple of years. They gave us an ambulance, they gave us a fire truck. They've been very, very generous. But what I found very interesting was that they've given nearly $350 million out to charities within the Inland Empire. Former trustee Pinkerton and Sharon reminded me that they gave, $28 million to Loma Linda Hospital? 25. 3 million, a million here, a million there. But the purpose of going down there, Kirsten, thanks for your help, and Chris, it's nice when you're talking to somebody that's really important, does a lot of great things, and you can tell them that you recognize what they've done. Last night in our goal setting, we proposed that we would have a lunch sometime probably September, October for her and some of her senior staff, our senior deans to come on up here to really kind of get a bigger bite at the apple, really to let her and her tribe know what we do on up here, because they're very important. Their former chairman, who's a current assembly member, James Ramos, is a graduate from our college, and I know was inducted by the foundation Hall of Fame many years ago. So those are 2 things that I'm working on, and I again want to thank Kirsten and Chris, Dr. Walden, and the staff for allowing us to do the things we do to better connect the community with the college and hopefully bring some additional dollars in for our students.
Me?
Jennifer?
Or him? Me? All right. So this is my very busiest time at work. I work in HR for a K-12, so we're ending the year and beginning the year. So I'm very thankful to the Pinkertons for attending a lot of events on our behalf. We're going to just claim that. I was able, though, to purchase a booth at the job fair on May 17th. This school does a phenomenal job of putting on a job fair for this community and for its students. It was very well attended. I don't think I've talked to that many people since before COVID at a job fair, so my recruiting skills were on high alert, which was super fun. I was also able to sneak away with my boss and my colleagues, and we went and ate at the restaurant, because I like to show it off whenever I'm here, because my district is so far away from here. And they were very impressed with the food that Tyler and the restaurant management group provides, so that was really fun. And I do absolutely plan on, I already took a vacation day for tomorrow for graduation, so I'm looking forward to being there for all the festivities and supporting the students. It's my favorite day of the year, and I love high-fiving all of the students and acting like a fool like I normally do. So thank you for having me. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and that's it for me. It was shorter than other people.
It wasn't that short.
Come at me, bro.
All right, so I attended I was actually invited to be the speaker, the guest speaker at the post-graduation out at the Public Safety Center, and I just want to say I got to go out. It had been a a year or two since I'd been out there at a graduation ceremony for any of the programs. So I hadn't been out there since Kelly Cahow has taken over as the interim director. So I got to meet a lot of the new people that have been brought on, a lot of the new part-time instructors, the people who are taking on some of the academy classes. And I've known Kelly Cahow. If nobody's met her, she's way out at the training center, the interim director currently. If you haven't met her and you have the opportunity to meet her, please do. She's wonderful. Todd, I think you probably know her pretty well. Mackenzie probably knows her. I knew her back when she was a probation officer working in the courts. She was awesome then. She's awesome now. So to see what she's done with that program, the level of professionalism, the level of dedication that she's putting in, and all the people who she has out there working with her in that program. I thought the program was great before. The program is just stellar now. So I had the honor of being the guest speaker, which was weird as a defense attorney to be at a law enforcement graduation, but it was fun. We had a good time and a really good event. And then I also was at the nursing pinning, and I told the interim director, Carmen Padfield, that if Dan didn't make it in time, he was racing from his grandson's graduation, trying to get here. So I told her, if Dan doesn't make it in time, I can hop up and say a few words if you want. And Dan made it on time, but then she still called me up, so I got to say a few words at the nursing graduation as well. The nursing graduation is always, again, for anybody who hasn't been to the nursing pinning, go. It is very different, right? It's not like any other ceremony. It's their own thing. And it really is a very touching, beautiful, it's just great. It's different than the rest of the graduation ceremonies, and it's just a wonderful sight to see the way that they go through it. So it's always been that way. Hopefully it stays that way forever. Went very well, very fun event. So that's it for were you about to bang the hammer on me, Dennis?
No,
I see
no,
Dennis is picking up the hammer over here. He's like thinking about tapping me out
I
over
was just
here.
reading it. It says
know he-
Brandon.
I know it says Brandon, shut up.
Shut up.
And so that's it for past. I just want to get ahead and let everybody know, so you can all be very upset right now, that I booked a trip, thought I had it, the right dates to depart, and then realized that I will miss the July board meeting. So I thought I could make the meeting and then go without backtracking travel time and everything. And so I will miss the July board meeting. I apologize for my absence. No, there's not one person went, oh, like nothing. I feel the love in here. But that's, so when I'm not here, my mistake, my apologies. I tried to book the trip so I could make the meeting and then go, and just managed to mess that up. So my apologies for missing a meeting in advance, and I hope you have a good July meeting.
Okay, well, I went to the adult.
It'll be the best meeting.
It'll be the best meeting we
He
had.
said it'll be the best meeting.
We had.
We're giving out tickets on the airplane.
Best meeting.
Yeah, I went to the adult ed graduation. It was 700 plus graduates, and that was very impressive. And that's what I've done. Everybody else has done lots more, but anyway, I'm hoping to I'm going to be at the graduation tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. That's one of my better days of the year, and I enjoy that a lot. So, and I've gone to, 24 of them, 25 of them? We used to have them at the baseball stadium over here at Maverick Stadium once upon a time. And every year, the wind is blowing so hard you can hardly do anything on the field. And that was the way it was there. And then we did it here, and then we did it there, and we did it at Apple Valley. And now it's down in Glen Helen. So it's, looking forward to it. It'll be my 24th or 5th, I can't remember.
I could only verify the last 5.
Yeah. Anyway, so. Yeah, they were,
So, I know you're gonna ask the student trustee
yeah.
to
I
say
am.
something, but before she does, this is her last meeting with us as student trustee.
Yeah, she's done.
Which is why we gave her that beautiful orchid that she has there. And thank you, Gabby, for picking that out. Great job.
Very pretty.
But Deanne has been awesome this year. She meets with me before every board meeting to review the agenda, just like the rest of the trustees, except sometimes she's a little tougher.
That's
than
right.
Some of the trustees, so don't anybody get any ideas from her.
Oh, all
No,
that.
actually, no, she's been a sweetheart, and she has made sure, I think maybe only one consultation meeting, we didn't have anyone, but this is the first year, that was the most high-attended consultation by students, because we have that the last Monday of every month, and only one time did we not have a student. I think you thought the student was going to be there, but they
There was a
weren't there, but
miscommunication.
something, I guess, happened. You know, students are students, so they actually have to go to class. But she's got another year with us here at Victor Valley College. But I just want to make sure when you walk across the stage, come on my side, not Todd's. Because I want to hand you that degree. She got a whole year to think about that.
Please.
So thank you,
Prima donna.
Deanne. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being present.
Seriously, taking on this job, because she's still in school like all the other students, and this is
And
a lot of
working.
work having to run. Yeah, and you actually have a day job. And family and everything else, and has to run the ASB meetings. So just fantastic, and thank you. And I know you're passing the torch to a good person, which I heard about on. Oh, there she is, right there. So you'll
I'll
get to meet
introduce
her
her
next
later.
month. That's Jennifer.
Oh, yes.
You got another Jennifer. And
Watch
she'll be
out,
sworn
world.
in. Yeah, you're gonna outnumber the rest.
Oh, yeah.
If you can beat the Michelles, you're doing good, because there's a ton of them.
There's a ton of them.
I default to Michelle when I can't remember anybody's name. Let's call them Michelle. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate your work.
Thank you.
And let you say your words there.
Thank you.
Let's give her a hand.
I guilted them into it.
Graduation gifts have been assembled and ready to be given to students at the graduation. Thank you to M&O for assisting in transportation to the graduation. Retreat for the 2023-2024 council is fast approaching. I would actually like to introduce our new ASB president and student trustee, Jennifer Weiss. I want to thank the board and Dr. Walden for their support over the past year. I actually have something to present you guys with. This is for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Oh.
I'm not shaking your hand.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
see that on the ground.
Thank you.
So Jennifer, you have something big that you got 12 months to figure out how to do this.
That's so cool.
Well, that's a gift on
Huh?
part of
Good.
ASB's behalf. That's like a little honor thing that we wanted to share with you guys. Robert, while I was in the hospital, my advisor Robert and Tim were putting those together for us, the students, and to present to you guys. And we thought it would be something special to give to you guys.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you so
very
much.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I wanted to thank M&O for their continued support throughout the year. Is Deanna still here? Oh, I see you. You're in the corner. Thank you for always being there and helping me through a lot and the support throughout the year and working auxiliary. I want to thank all the other managers that are here, VP Todd Scott for helping students get the classes they needed, like with the chemistry class and sorting those out for the semesters. I want to thank John Nolan, I believe, for the support with facilities, and I want to thank Monica Martinez for ensuring student involvement on hiring committees, and I also want to thank VP Lopez. I also want to thank Tim Isbell for always being a friend to me, and I truly appreciate everything you do for me. And I would like to thank this special person to me. Back in 2019, I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, and I had one simple conversation that turned my life around to something better. Robert, because of you, I am more mature and knowledgeable today. I laugh harder, and I feel like you made ASB a home for me when my home was breaking. I owe you so much. Thank you for being my advisor, my mentor, and a friend. Thank you for everything. And
So, Ian, since my report's next, and you're first on it, do you want to do ASB goals, or are you done?
I actually have something for ASB goals.
She's never done.
For our goal number 2, ASB will assist and support civic engagement by providing voter registration information in association with the VVC Office for Public Information and Marketing. VVC ASB has provided voter registration information in the ASB office and hosted events to encouraging voting. Our goal number 3, ASB regularly met with the President's Cabinet. Our goal number 4, ASB hosted several diversity events, including Dia de los Muertos, Cinco de Mayo, MLK, Asian Pacific Heritage, Pride Month, GSA Prom, and the opening of the Multicultural Center. Goal number 5, M&O has been working to implement better recycling on campus. Goal 6, M&O installed dispensers in several locations throughout campus, including the dispensary-free products. M&O cleans the restrooms several times a day. And our goal number 8, social media encouragement is up, app is updated, marketing has been done, and an amazing job with social media content uploaded and relevant to the students.
So that is the best accomplishment of student goals that I have seen, and this is my 5th year. Would you agree, Robert? That's amazing. Wow. Jennifer, you got it cut out for you. Your job's cut out for you. I know you're going to do great. If you have any of your mother's energy, you will for sure. So we don't have a facilities update tonight. In the interest of time, there's nothing real new to say. So Kirsten, I know you're in the other room. Could you come over here and give us your foundation report? I think you and Chris are going to do it together.
Oh, yeah, there's a delay.
Oh, somebody holler over there. They're on a delay. They don't know that everybody left already.
Oh, they know.
They think we're still here. There she comes.
We're in the overflow section, so thank you.
Takes a while for it to get from here to there.
It does. It does. So we were able to celebrate our students today with a scholarship drive, and Chris really handles that whole event from start to finish, the application process, just everything and all the details. And so I really thought it would be appropriate for him to report out on our scholarship drive. It's his baby, and really proud of him. It was a phenomenal event today. So, Chris, please.
Thanks. Well, I should really start off by apologizing. So I'm very sorry if around the 9 o'clock hour or wherever you were at, if you started to see lights flicker and maybe some low rumbling and noise. That was all of the excitement and celebration and fantastic things happening inside of our Performing Arts Center because we were awarding our scholarships for this year. You can see these are actually photos from this morning, some of our donors and our recipients as they were arriving. Students arrived this morning, they registered, they received some paperwork that they'll have to complete for their scholarship process, and then took some photos, and then our donors arrived, and we held a great ceremony in the theater, and we were really glad to honor and recognize so many folks. This year, we had a record turnout for applicants with over 1,600 students beginning their application process. And thank you and so much to all of our folks here on campus and around the community who dedicated their time to rate and score these applications. 510 applications needed to be scored for the final awarding. We today awarded $234,600 in scholarships. 423 actual scholarships were awarded to 358 individual students. So we spread the wealth as best as we can to help make sure we're helping our students meet those needs, taking care of their books, their fees, their uniforms. Again, a huge thank you to our partners across the campus. We couldn't have done it without you. Auxiliary Services, our crew over in the Performing Arts Center, Campus Police, folks over in the library, financial aid, MNO, and the list goes on. Of course, all of our sponsors and donors. None of this would happen without the great support that comes from our campus and our community. So thank you all so much for those of you who were able to help and participate this year, and you're in luck. We're going to do it again next year.
I just want to say this, because I know you have 3 of us in the Brady family to vote. So if you're having to do that 300 and some odd times, that's a lot of work. And Chris, I appreciate it. We're kind of high maintenance in our family. So.
Thank you. So tonight we have a very short presentation from a group that went with me over to LA a couple of weeks ago to receive 6 awards. There were 8 categories. We won in 6 of those categories, and we won the most categories of any college in Southern California. And so,
we're going, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So we're going to hand out to you what the speech is going to be about, so you can read along and we can ad-lib a little bit. And we're going to hand out the awards that we received, so you can actually take a look at them, and then I'll explain to the crowd what exactly we've received and why, and who we should thank for this.
Okay, so here's the statistic problem. You have 7 members.
Well, I've already seen them, so.
Okay.
One each. So you're going to see the picture up above, and so we thought about something. The awards are nice, but how our students benefit is much better. And as we got to go receive these awards, meet with the new chancellor for California, first Asian American, first female chancellor, California Community Colleges, Sonia Christian. We had very lengthy conversations with her as well. Hope to see her here on campus sometime this next year.
Thank you.
These awards are the accumulation of actually true grassroots, decade-long transformative efforts by our VVC faculty who partnered with colleagues across the state early on to create something rather than waiting for somebody to tell us what we needed to do. Our VVC English math faculty over the years kept improving things because we received awards for enrollment, success, and getting all of our students in English and math enrolled in transfer level classes at 100% level, as Dr. Walden said, in every single category. 56 colleges were nominated, received awards, if you will. Some received 1. For how many Latinx or how many Black students that were enrolled. Some got them for 70%. Some got them for their students' population enrolling in classes that transfer to the next level. 4-year college. Only one community college got an award in every single category. That was Victor Valley College. We want to kind of give a quick 1-minute, 2-minute historical wonderful thank you to the folks that made this happen. It was nice to stand up there to handle the awards. The people I'm going to name next, this is where this came from, and the ones that started this. As far back as 2010 is when this process began. California Community College faculty mobilized their efforts to address the inequities in student outcomes in English and math. Key gatekeeper subjects for our college students, English and math. But through the involvement and leadership of one of our retired VVC faculty department chair, Stephen Toner, he was part of something called the California Acceleration Project. That's where all this began, in 2010. And this is where our VVC math department evolved. Everything was examined, improved, from placement principles and processes to instruction and classroom assessment methods to overall curriculum design and sequencing. It was very difficult to make this change. If it wasn't, there'd be more than one school in California that received an award in every single category. Essentially, what they were asking for folks to do, and people looked at it in this fashion, throw the baby, throw the kids in the water and tell them to learn how to swim. But that's not what this process was all about. This process was about the wraparound services, the tutoring, the academic support, and the support from the college, and making sure that enough funding was there to provide that support that we currently have here on this campus. Soon after math got the hard work done and they got things settled, Joe Pendleton followed up with what here at the college they were calling a curriculum palooza. He engineered with the English and the reading faculty to come together, redesign English and reading courses in an engaging, positive, professional development environment. So remember, we're getting awards for math and English. These are the people that were at the very onset that made this happen and built that foundation from which we've grown. And then under the leadership, when Bryce Campbell became the department chair, he and the dedication of all his English faculty implemented the state's advisory English course placement model procedures under what's called AB 705 and created the necessary structures and support, both inside and outside the classroom, to optimize student course success. And then we have three other people to thank, because we didn't get there. We got there because they changed the curricula, but all of a sudden we hired somebody smart here at the college, hired somebody who's now Dean Amy Azul. So she helped to create an efficient tutoring and academic resources unit. It's now supported well enough through our budget to make all of this wraparound services available to our students so that we can walk and receive these awards that are presented because of this. But these people were at the beginning, and now we have dedicated faculty members, very dedicated, in the Writing Center, the Math Support Center, for which we received these awards for in Joshua Wackenhopper and your very own Professor On Weiss.
Thank you. I want to say thank you for all the support that the college provided for us to be able to create what the Math Center is doing for our students. The support that you give us allows us to serve the students, to provide the capabilities that create the student success that needs to be a We're very thankful.
Tim's just making sure that he shows a few things. This has been picked up by LinkedIn, picked up by the Chancellor's Office, the Daily Press, the High Daily Press, Victor Valley News Group, here on campus, all students. So we're very proud of this, but we also we need to recognize that we have a lot of hardworking staff that have put time in to get us to this point where we were privileged to walk and stand with a new chancellor and 100 other colleges, and it was kind of funny to look around and go, you know what? Kind of impressive that we stood above everybody else because of the folks that are out here that put all this hard work in. So we're proud to be asked to go. Thank you.
colleges that keep getting up and down from the table. The award. I mean, like, we're phenomenal up there. We just never got to sit in one place.
Oh, what a bummer.
It was almost,
Problem.
I'll have to say, it was almost embarrassing because they'd call all these colleges, and we'd, Victor Valley College. Okay, we'd go get the award and sit down a little bit. They call the colleges' names. Here's Victor Valley College again, and then Victor Valley College again, 6 times.
That's amazing.
And they got to, the people giving us the awards got to making jokes about it. Okay, here you are again. But it was just wonderful to be there. I don't teach in the classes. I don't do A&R. I don't do financial aid. I'm not in the tutoring center. I'm not over in the math center. I don't do any of that. But hard-working employees at this college do all those things, and that's who the support, and I mean, it belongs to the students because they were the ones that did it, but at the same time, they wouldn't have been able to be successful without all these wonderful people, and I just get to be the face of that accepts the success. So that's a wonderful job. That's why this is a great job, but it's not really me. It's all you and all your colleagues that are out there at the college every day working.
Read the back page when you get a moment. It's on AB 1705, and it tells you what we're required to do by the Chancellor's Office. Why is it that half of the community colleges aren't anywhere near where we are? And it kind of explains a little bit. Our students are successful. We got a notice in January, February, John W. Rice Award for that success. And from what I understand from Jenny and from our faculty, those numbers are just increasing. So,
Thank you.
You know, Robert, why? Because everybody has this great improved attitude, and we're working like a team. That's why this is all happening. So congratulations.
So this is the time of the year that the board is required by July 1st to adopt a tentative budget for 2023. And so right now, I'm going to call John Nolan, and I don't know if you want to bring Marie up, but they're going to go through the presentation for the tentative budget, which the board is being asked to vote on as an action item later in this meeting.
So that was a great warm-up, huh?
Now, can you beat that?
Yeah. This could possibly be the best tentative budget you will have on the agenda today. So it's that time of the year, Trustee Tarpley mentioned it. It's the happy fiscal new year, 17 days away. So fiscal is busy closing the books for this year, and we've been really busy trying to make sense of the budget for next year. So we did hold a campus-wide forum on Zoom last Thursday. So the majority of this presentation was shared with the college community. Tim, next slide, please. So now we'll do a current year update. We have 17 days left in the year. How we're doing fiscal year 22-23. Next slide, please. So our budget revenue for 22-23 is based on the TCR, which the president has mentioned, total computational revenue. It's calculated with the student-centered funding formula. So in 22-23, a year ago, we elected as a college to participate in the emergency conditions allowance program, not knowing where our FTS generation would be. We didn't know if we would grow or if we would make it back to our funded levels prior to COVID. At advanced apportionment last year, our TCR was calculated at $78,619,477. At first principal apportionment, it's $78,308,504. There's no
deficit in the current year, so that's the available revenue. First principal portion. So go ahead and show the next slide. So in transparency, this is the Exhibit C at first principal apportionment. You see that heading there. It's 22-23 first principal apportionment. If you look, I don't know, can you put your cursor on the box there? Hey, there you go. That $78,308,504 number comes from that calculation. So years past, we used to kind of have to guess what our apportionment was going to be, but with the new funding formula, it's there. There's an estimator that the Chancellor's office has built, so we can project these numbers into the future. So next slide, please. So this year in the 22-23 expenditure recap, so these are based on estimates that we've projected through June 30 as compared to the audited actuals in the prior year, 21-22. You'll see it on that spreadsheet on the left, far left column. So 22-23, the salaries and benefits increased approximately 12%. Books and supplies increased by 41%. Services and operating expenses increased by 24%. Capital outlay increased by approximately 31%. And most of this was due to, we've all seen the inflation over the last year. Plus, we have experienced some growth in FTS. So we have more staff that had been hired from the vacant positions during COVID. We had more expenses in salaries and benefits. We've had the FTS growth. But we really have experienced some increase in our cost of operating, the non-salary line items. So it averages out to be a 14% increase in expenditures year over year. Next slide, please. So in May, the governor released his May revise for next year's budget, 23-24. The overall state budget proposed at $306 billion. It's actually $2 billion lower than the previous year. The May revise reflects a projected state deficit of $31.5 billion. If you remember a year ago, the budget had a surplus of $98 billion. Well, that's a $130 million swing.
Billion.
1 year. Billion, yes, billion.
Millionaire.
Yeah, whatever. BM, whatever. So one of the things with the revise
In 1 year.
is to cover some of the deficits. The governor basically is recommending that they reduce funding in the deferred maintenance instructional equipment program and the COVID-19 recovery block grant funds to pay for some of next year's expense. And if his recommendation goes through, that means VVC's deferred maintenance program will have a reduction of $4,812,410. So we had about over $9 million in this year's budget appropriated for that. The COVID recovery block grant, we're looking at a potential reduction of $3,085,460. So out of this current budget, we're facing a cut of $7,897,870 in those two programs. So those two programs were appropriated and funded this year with we had a 5-year life cycle. We could spend the funds within 5 years. So if this goes through, we're going to lose about almost $8 million in funding. And everybody knows that our plant needs all the deferred maintenance that we can come up with. We're going hard on maintenance right now. I mean, we had no facilities update because we let the facilities department take the summer off. But no, I'm just being facetious. But we're moving fast right now, and we've got a couple buildings getting some serious work done right now. It started this week. So the May revise, the governor proposed to fund growth at 0.5%. Community college funding is $360 million less in May than what he proposed in January. He is proposing some flexibility in certain categorical programs. That means he's identified the Student Equity and Achievement Program, Student Financial Aid Administration, and the Student Mental Health Resources Program that he's proposing to allow the colleges to have a little bit more flexibility in how those monies are spent for the next few years. And then they're going to go in and make sure that colleges are still meeting the goals of his community college roadmap. And if the colleges are not making progress towards the goals, then their intent is they will shut the flexibility down and focus the money back where it is right prior to the flexibility. So next slide, please. So general fund assumptions. Our budget's based on the May revise and what we know, reading the chancellor's office emails every day to see what's going on in Sacramento. We've prepared the budget on the estimated revenues and expenses for the year. Next bullet, please. The district will maintain legal compliance with the 50% law. District will develop a budget with a board designated 16.67 ending fund balance. The program review, planning, and budget development process will guide the allocation. Vacancies due to retirement or resignation will not automatically be filled. Next slide, please. The tentative budget's revenue will be sufficient to cover projected expenses. Apportionment revenue is estimated, State Chancellor's Office, SCIF estimator, using the district's second period apportionment report, reported FTS of 9,956.36 FTS. So at tentative, we made no assumptions that we were going to grow. And you notice that number 9956.36 is really close to the 10,000.
Really close.
So there's a few things that happen when you get to 10,000.
Well, summer enrollment, if it goes as we are trending right now, there's a good chance that we will exceed that when Jenny does the report in July. So everybody out here that works for the college, go enroll in the class. We actually did that at one of my colleges, so.
Next bullet, please. So we will not be opting into any conditions allowance for this next year. We don't want to constrain our funding. We think now that we would be funded on the actual calculation of our total computational revenue. Next line, please. COLA was proposed by the governor to be 8.22%, estimated $6.5 million for VVC. So expense assumptions, increase in health and welfare premiums to the district are estimated at 6%, approximately $525,000 increase. We're still reaping benefits from the SERP that we had a few years ago. The estimate in the SERP report was $329,352. We've already basically realized all the savings that program had estimated. And we're assuming in this budget, the district will reach settlement with all bargain units. Next slide. So the total computational revenue for the budget's $86,931,941. We're assuming that it'll be fully funded, and we're showing a deficit for the current year of $4,202,491. And that primarily is due is that we've had COLAs funded the last 2 years, this year and the year prior, that we haven't passed on in salary and benefits. So our budget, those funds roll into fund balance at the end of the year. You'll see on the spreadsheet, our beginning fund balances roll. So we're assuming that we're gonna give retro salaries to our employees, and that will show a one-time deficit in next year because we're basically spending money from prior years. The ending fund balance is estimated to be at 25.45 million, 27.22%. Next slide, please. So
This is the one that was passed out.
yeah, I passed that out to you. It's really small numbers, but if you can see the left hand, the far left column is the 21-22 actuals. We had a $13.148 million fund balance. There was a COLA of 5.07. So the total revenue, the total apportionment revenue was $70,596,360. Total revenue, $75,582,281. Scroll down a little bit, Tim. Our expenses were $66,894,302. Change in fund balance was $8,687,979. Will increase our fund balance to $21,836,293, 28.89% at the end of the 21-22 year. So back up to the other columns. Second column is the adopted budget that you adopted in September. The third column is our projected actuals through the next 2 weeks. So as you can see, the beginning fund balance rolls up. It's $21,836,293. So that includes the prior year COLA because we did not pass it through. The current COLA is 6.56. And so the revenue numbers for the projected actuals have that COLA built in them. So you can see our apportionment is $78,308,504 is that number we showed you earlier. Total revenues, $84,378,530. Estimated expense through June 30, $76,558,364. That's a surplus of revenue over expense of $7,820,166. Rolls into our ending balance. Now we have a $29,656,459 ending fund balance. It's 35.15%. The next line is the board, go back down. The next line is the actually board designated reserve, that 14,065,900. So that's 16.67. Undesignated reserve is 15,590,557. So now we go up to the recommended budget, tentative budget for 23-24. As you can see, the fund balance rolls up. It's 29,656,459. The governor has proposed an 8.22% COLA. That rolls into the number 86,931,941 is our apportionment calculated via the SCIF estimator at the Chancellor's office. Total revenue is projected at $93,500,923. Expenses for next year, as we speak today, and our best guess in the fiscal area is $97,703,414 with a deficit of $4,202,491. And as I said earlier, that is assuming we are going to settle with the bargaining units and distribute retroactive salary and benefits.
So it goes down, the reserve goes down because of the retroactive payments. So we don't anticipate that there's a structural deficit in ongoing years. So whatever's in the reserve is one-time money. You really can't give a raise out of it because if you do, it's one-time money. It'll just finally go to nothing. So you have to do your raises off of what comes in the TCR, the total revenue, coming in by the year versus that total year's expense. The reason this year has a higher expense than the revenue is because of the anticipated retro payments. So that's been factored into this budget, and just to make sure that you know, as a board, we're not proposing or think, in any kind of a structural, you don't know the future is what the state's going to give us, but based on what we have in front of us, we do not believe that this creates a structural issue. It's a one-time dip to provide retro. So next year, there wouldn't be any retro, right? Probably, because we've already paid that. Hope that makes sense.
So one thing I want to mention to the board, I don't know where the slide went, that shows you my PowerPoint skills. But the COLA that's proposed by the governor at 8.22%, 500 million of it is going to be funded with one-time money. So that means that 6% of that 8.22% is, we don't know if we'll have it in the revenue for next year. So I know Dr. Walden and I have talked in the 20-some years we've been in the system. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
That number that high?
No, fund a COLA with one-time money,
Yeah.
not knowing whether the
That's
COLA will be
scary.
there next year.
Right.
So it's something that we're gonna have to, I know the governor and the legislative leaders right now are talking about it. It's like, they're basically betting that the revenue will be there next year.
They're gambling.
Yeah,
And the government's telling us we go in the fourth quarter and the first 2 quarters of next year into a recession.
yeah, so it's the first time I've seen it where they funded a COLA with one-time money.
John, can you speak to where the increase for PERS and STIRS is on this budget?
I think there's a later slide for that.
Is there a later
Yeah,
slide?
you know,
Okay, sorry.
I don't know if I grabbed the right, I obviously
Because
didn't.
it's going up significantly for employers.
For PERS only,
For
STIRS is
PERS
staying
to
straight.
25.37%
Yeah,
for
yeah.
classified employees.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I think I grabbed the wrong.
I think PERS was 26.68.
Initially was the, right?
Did it go, is there an update?
I don't know, I just Googled it right here from the diet,
Yeah.
like I don't know for sure off the top of my head, but, and even STIRS I feel like went up because it was at 18, wasn't it? And now it's at 19 and now it's 20.25 for projected for next year.
Yeah,
Those aren't the numbers we got, but.
It's just Google, I don't know if it's right.
yeah, I think it was,
I didn't vet it.
we can actually try pulling up my other.
We didn't
I
anticipate.
mean, I went on the STIRS of PERS.
So this
site,
budget
but-
does not anticipate an increase in STIRS. It does, however, increase or anticipate
The PERS,
the
PERS,
PERS,
yeah.
yes.
which is significant, right?
But,
It's 1.37 or something
I mean,
percent.
it's just getting up there where it's a large percentage. The issue is, they have not settled. In fact, according to what I read last night, yesterday, the Senate Pro Tem and the Leader of the Assembly, they agreed on what they thought they would take to the governor. So now it's the three entities together. So you've got the Senate, the Assembly, and now the governor, representatives trying to come up with a final thing, which they're saying going to vote on a final budget this coming Friday. However, the article said that there would still be so what they're doing is agreeing on the broad concepts so that the legislators can get paid after the 15th, because by law, they don't get paid after that if they don't adopt a budget. So by Thursday, they are supposed to adopt a budget, but there's then going to be a series of trailer bills, they said lasting all the way into October, trying to make corrections. So we're not going to know the final on a
Until the next
23-24 year until late in this year. And probably won't even see it in a real sensible way until the January proposal for next year's budget.
Right.
Yeah, so the increase in PERS was 1.31%, and the final amount is 26.68%. And it's about a $291,000 increase for our budget. Okay, next slide. Okay, there's the categorical proposals from the May revise. Access EOPS, CalWorks, mandated block grant, CARE, get COLAs. There's the deferred maintenance reduction, 4.8 million. The recovery block grant reduction of 3 million. Next slide, please. Budget overview of all funds of the district. Next slide. So these are all the funds of the district, starting with the unrestricted that we just went over, then the restricted general fund, bond interest. There's the infamous GIC, which you should see a slide later that shows you where the GIC's at cash-wise. That shows the bond fund, the cap outlay fund, child development. So our beginning balances for next year estimated at 100,763,211. Estimated revenue for next year, 246,540,498. A lot of those revenue numbers are rollover numbers because the way we account for funds is we defer the revenue if we don't spend it in the year that it's given to us. So a lot of those revenue numbers are rollovers and categoricals. There's HERF money in the rollover. There's the 9 million in scheduled maintenance and other funds that show up in the revenue year after year if you haven't spent them. Estimated expenses for the year, 275,396,628. Estimating any fund balance for the district, 71,907,081.
John, did you project the loss of the almost $8 million in this? Or they have not yet taken that?
No, we have not yet.
So that's $8 million less than what you see up there if that actually
If they
gets
actually
passed.
take it, yes.
And what impact does that have to maintenance, to you?
Well,
No, but I mean, what are you gonna have left after you take your,
we're gonna have, well, Todd and I are gonna have to arm wrestle a little bit because it's instructional equipment and deferred maintenance. So it's gonna be, there's about 4 million left. We've been going pretty good this year. We've probably spent over $1 million, $1.5 million this year. So we'll have about 3 million left. And then right now, 2 million of it's designated for instructional equipment, but we haven't reached that discussion yet.
You're gonna be in trouble because Todd has a partner now to argue with you too.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, we've made a lot of improvements right now. If you've seen some of the landscaping we're doing, we're conserving water, we're basically doing everything we can to reduce maintenance costs because some of the shrubbery and everything is overgrown. And so, we're gonna get a lot out of the program, but not what we had planned if this thing goes through. I know this, our system is fighting that reduction. We're trying to tell them, just give us a deferral. Tell us you're gonna give me that 5 million some date in the future. Don't cut it. So that's kind of what our system's saying. Because the COVID block money, some of the districts, we got 5 million. Some of the districts, like I think San Bernardino got 9 million. Well, they've taken basically their whole block grant money and committed it to student incentives to come to school. So they're in a spot now where we've pretty much advertised that we're giving these funds to students, and you're telling us you're taking half of it away from us. So they got a problem. So they want flexibility. They want to spend their scheduled maintenance on that program because now they got a $4 or $5 million hole, and they've already made the commitment. They're advertising to get the students to come to school, these certain programs and incentives, and so because it's current year money, they've paid us for 99% of that. That 8 million that they're going to take away from us. So it's kind of a different time. But here we go into that, we're going into that cycle. So, next slide, please. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the GIC investment and the interest. I know I've told you about Marie and her staff having to do all the interfund transfers, due to, due froms, interfund loans to take advantage of what this GIC offers us. So the GIC investment at 7/1/22, the balance was 19,053,574. The GIC earns 7.75%. The county treasury sent us their history of earnings. Their projected earnings for the current year that ends June 30 is 1.348%. So if the GIC at 7.75, that 19 million earns 1.4 million, almost 1.5. If that money was in the county treasury, it would earn 256,000.
But the GIC was a rather interesting deal that.
Yeah, right now.
There's not two schools or three schools that ever had this, and not everybody could figure out the GIC.
Yeah, so we're I don't know how to describe. We're game at it, I guess, but we're using that GIC to earn interest, and why we have a large fund balance, and we have the cash in the treasury. We're taking advantage of trying to get earnings up on the cash that's in the district.
Well, with the new building, doesn't most of the GIC go away?
Just about all of it will.
Well, the GIC has to sunset. You can't have it after.
It's December 1st, 2024, it matures. It's over.
So that means the funds that we borrowed from to put in the GIC, we have to pay those funds back.
So that
The GIC
19 million,
will
or
go to zero.
that base, that corp will come back to the college. And the idea is that we will fund when the stadium is basically complete and everything's paid, then basically the general fund will basically loan the money to the general fund, and then the general fund will earn that interest rate until December 1st of next year. So it's really financially, it's like a no-brainer. We've got a lot of cash in the treasury. We should just maximize our return because the market's not, and you'll see when we talk about the OPEB earnings, and we have a meeting tomorrow on our retiree benefits unit. The earnings have gone like this. So the estimates are really low because they're more stocks and bond. This is guaranteed 7.75. The insurance companies got to pay us whether they're making that much or not. So I just wanted to keep the board informed and get the consensus that you're okay with this strategy. So that's pretty much what we're doing on the cash. And we're dealing with a lot of interfund transfers and timing. We got Tuesday to pay off the loans, and then Wednesday we'll put them back in. And with the county system, it's like, wow.
Well, there's money on paper, and then there's money of what's actually in the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's very different.
But I just
Last
want the
number
board to
was
be
lower.
aware of this, so you're not surprised if I'm going out like this. But,
How often do you guys get audited by the county for those?
well, yeah, I mean, our auditors
They're gonna
are aware of
slow
it.
that
We've,
down.
you know,
They already.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying like the county, that pays it, they always will pull stuff for audit and you're like,
yeah.
that delayed.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to keep the board apprised of what's going on in the cash side too, so. I think that's it. Any questions? We will now start working on the final budget for September. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie, and all the fiscal folks for helping us put
Yes,
this thing
thank you, Marie.
together in their spare time. In your spare time.
We have, just because of the hour, Do you guys want to take a quick restroom break? I know I need to, so. Technology
Brent.
break?
6-1.
7-2.
5 minutes. 10, let's go 10. I don't want to give you some.
8-3.
Huh?
8-3 now.
3.5.
8-3.
And what, how much time's left?
9 minutes left in the third. Tim, can we get it?
Be back here before 8.
The score's 8-3 right now.
Oh, the basketball game?
No.
Basketball. I don't know.
That is like a basketball score though. 8-3 in a hockey game.
Call to order.
Thank you.
There you go. You don't want to scream.
Wow.
My last meeting, I don't know what the last.
Yeah,
All right, so, in the objectives that were in last year's goals, the board, set two different, study sessions in regard to diversity, equity, inclusion. And so we're just coming back tonight to do what the board passed last July 1st, or last July board meeting. This is the second of the study sessions. The first one focused on students in regard to diversity and equity and inclusion. And this one is focusing on our college employees. And so Monica, our Vice President of HR, is going to make that presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. So good evening, Board of Trustees, Student Trustee, and Dr. Walden. So tonight, I wanted to share first we're going to start with just some numbers, and then we're going to go over some measures we have in place to ensure diversity in the people that are both applying and who are actually hired for the job. And then we're going to do a breakdown of our applicants and our new hires based on gender and ethnicity. And I'll wrap it up with sort of next steps and forward-looking what we'd like to do in human resources. So to get started, next slide. So in the last 2 years, so we're going by July 1, which is our fiscal year 2021 through June of 2023, we've hired 63 classified professionals, 12 full-time faculty, 28 managers for a total of 103 hires. And without getting into too much detail, the amount of work it takes and commitment, not only by HR, but department chairs, people across the campus that volunteer to sit on these committees. There's screening of applications, there's interviews. It's very time consuming, but we appreciate their willingness to get involved. And so next slide, Tim. So in addition to the new hires right now, as of June 14th, so again, we're closing out the year. So we've had a pretty full year, but we still have 49 recruitments open. So that's 30 classified professionals, 8 full-time faculty, 11 managers. And so some of these may go into the summer months, which for management and classified is not an issue, but full-time faculty, there's a commitment, I believe, to work over the summer, if not to start first thing in the fall. So again, I want to commend them for that. Next slide. So applicants over the last 2 years. So these are people that apply, and it's not only apply, but a lot of times they need assistance with their applications. There's a screening process that HR does to make sure that things are complete, documents are submitted properly. So we've had over 2,000 people apply for our classified positions, 296 for the full-time faculty, 283 for our managers, for a total of 2,690. So those are all the applicants over the last 2 years. So those are the numbers, and I think they're pretty impressive for a single college district. It's a lot of hiring. And again, we've got 49, almost 50 open right now. I think Cabinet approved 3 or 4 positions today, so we'll probably close out the year with over 50 more recruitments. So next slide, Tim. So the next thing I wanted to share with the board is, we're bringing in the numbers, and I know that we've had some failed recruitments, and sometimes our pools are not large enough, but for the most part, I wanted to show the board that the measures that we have in place to, I guess, make sure that the people coming in, are diverse. And so what you're looking at here is 23 standard advertising sites that HR uses. And then next slide, Tim. And then we have another 23 that are supplemental, and we're also open to department chairs or hiring managers to let us know if there's any more specialized place they'd like us to advertise. Our budget for advertising for recruitments is between $16,000 and $18,000 a year. This year, we've bumped it up to 20. So I believe that budget will continue to grow as we, the hiring has been pretty much nonstop. So next slide, Tim. So we're advertising. I feel like we are casting a wide net. Another thing we've done is when I first got here and we were talking about, what is the makeup of our applicants versus our workforce, we found that a lot of people were not answering these questions that are voluntary. And so I think we were in the double digits with people that would just decline to state. And why that's problematic is because when we're trying to do the research or target our efforts, we don't really know who all these decline to state are. And more importantly, what is their concern? Is there something that we're projecting? Is there something we're not highlighting that is making people shy away from identifying? So what we did is we kind of looked at what other schools were doing. We asked them, hey, what's your rate for decline to state? And we found people that had very single-digit low numbers. And so we borrowed their language. And what they told us is that you really have to state and reinforce that it's information that's not related to your application. The hiring committee doesn't even see it. It's solely for HR. And so with that minor tweak that didn't cost any money, we're now down to the single digits for people that decline to state. So again, I think we have a more accurate picture of who's actually applying, and then in turn who we hire. Next slide. Another measure we have in place is our Administrative Procedure 7120. We do have a clause in there that myself, and right now currently it's been working with Dr. Walden, we have the opportunity to look at the applicant pools. And again, now that we have better information, and determine if the pool is diverse enough, if it's viable, and we can decide to expand or extend the recruitment. We can halt the process, we can re-advertise. So again, that one does have a little bit of cost if you extend the recruitment. But again, it's a small step, and it's at the very beginning that we are looking at the applications that are coming in. Next slide. And by the same token, for the actual search committees, so we have the various constituent groups represented on the different search committees, but also myself and Dr. Walden, we have the ability, and now because we have better employee data, we kind of know, we're not trying to guess, and we look at the composition, again, for diversity, and if we feel that, certain groups are not being represented, we try to modify the committee. So it is a little heavy-handed, but I think it's necessary at this point. And I think when I show you what we're yielding from these efforts, you'll agree. So next slide. So first I want to show you the applicants, by gender. So it is majority women, over 76%, 23% are men. So this is across all classifications. Those are who our applicants are. And we've got point 4 is identifying as non-binary. So I'm not sure if the board's familiar with that term. So the Department of Labor has a definition, term used by people who identify as neither entirely male nor entirely female. This can include people who are agender, bigender, gender fluid, gender nonconforming, and genderqueer, among others. So we do have some applicants that are selecting that or identifying. Next slide. So then when you look at the breakdown of gender, it still follows the same, more or less. I mean, mostly it's women, more female applicants in all faculty, full-time, and management. In the management, it's not quite as big a gap. Actually, I can't even see my own slide. I think for management, it might be reversed. Let me see.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I can't see. I should have brought my glasses.
For the management,
Yeah.
The blue should be green and the green should be blue.
Yeah. So next slide. And then with ethnicity, what we did was we separated out white, not Hispanic or Latino, and we grouped people of color to include the groups that you see up there: Black or African American, not Hispanic or Latino; Hispanic or Latino, 2 or more races; Asian, not Hispanic or Latino; Native American or Alaskan Native, not Hispanic or Latino; Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, not Hispanic or Latino. So if you see across all the applicants for all the jobs here, 76% are people of color. Next slide, Tim. And then again, we did the breakdown by the different positions. Still the majority. For classified, it's 83, full-time 67, management 66. Next slide. And then we move into new hires. So again, the majority of our hires are female versus the male. This is, again, across all the different jobs. And then next slide, Tim. Then we do a breakdown. And you'll see that for classified, it kind of follows the same pattern. For full-time faculty management, you see that the male group is a little bit larger. Next slide. And then same with ethnicity. People of color, 76 versus the 24% of white. Next slide. Same with the new hires in ethnicity. People of color for classified, full-time faculty and management are the majority. Next slide, Tim. So what do the numbers mean? So what we've been working on in HR is, these measures we have in place, where we advertise. The next part of it is who's on the committee and are they trained properly. We really do have enough information now to start drilling down. And so when you say people of color, there's different, ethnicities in there. So we probably want to take a look at, African Americans, Latinos specifically, to see, are certain groups, because I think at a 30,000 foot level, I think BBC is doing wonderful, right? We're hiring majority people of color, they're applying. When they apply versus who's getting hired, it's around the same percentage. But when you start to drill down, I think that's where we might identify some gaps, or you might see that certain groups are overrepresented in certain jobs, but underrepresented in others. And so again, as an HR department working with the college, the different instruction, student services, and the administrative side, we need to figure out why that is. And is there something we can do in HR with job descriptions, how we test, how we screen, again, going back to committees and how they're trained. So I think the very next step is to start looking at this data. And that, I believe, will inform, we are required to have an equal employment opportunity plan. And we get funding from the state chancellor's office. And so they've revised the template. I think I've mentioned this before. And so our new plan will be coming to you in the late fall. But I want to take the opportunity to take this workforce and applicant data that we have a lot of for the first time, because we have been hiring so much, and let that inform, some of the strategies that we want to commit to in the new plan. And it's a 3-year plan. And lastly, I can't emphasize enough the training for search committees. And what I mean by that is there's the procedural knowledge. You get the applications, to look into our electronic recruitment, you use the form, but the subtlety or more complicated issues, like having the courageous conversations, taking the data that you have for a department and figuring out, how do you maintain a diverse department and not have people on the committee feel like you're lowering the bar or lowering the expectations, and that we're only looking for diversity. And anytime there's a competition, we will pick the non-white candidate because we're trying to meet some goal. And I mean, to me, that would be the opposite of what we're trying to do. So I think there's a lot of room for how we train. We also have fair employment representatives. These people have additional training in HR. They sit on all the committees. They're non-voting members, and they're supposed to be an extension of HR and kind of guide the process and sort of keep people to the format, not asking additional questions and questions that maybe are not appropriate. So I think there's a lot of room for growth in that area. This last year, we expanded the FIR training. We offered it to part-time faculty. So that they were very interested in participating, especially if they're interested in a full-time job. It's really good for them to see how it works behind the scenes. So we're doing our best, but yes, it's a heavy lift, but I'm excited about what we've been able to accomplish in the last couple of years. So any questions? That's all I have. Okay.
Questions or comments from the board?
Good job.
Very interesting.
Okay, thank you.
So now you know a little bit more about our employees and what they look like. All right. Well, it's that time again. Time to submit an accreditation report to the ACCJC. They're going to come out. We got to have it to them by August 1st, which means the board has to vote on it at the July board meeting. Can we get a yes from you now, Brandon? Okay, yes from Brandon, because what if it was tied? We'd be in trouble. 2-2, I don't know. But anyway, so the boards.
Now that I said yes, I would just say that I did receive a copy by email. We all did. 177 pages, so we received that earlier this week.
So please send us any kind of feedback you have this month. It's also being reviewed at the Senate and College Council and I don't know wherever else on campus. So August 1st, we send it in around October-ish. They will come and they will meet by themselves this is a new process. It's not what the college went through before. And they will meet in a hotel room and they will look at the ICER, that 177-page document. They will look at the ICER and the evidence that we provided. Am I too close, Tim? Okay. I don't know, it's going away. Anyway, they will decide at that point if they have any questions. And if so, they will send those to us after their October meeting. And then we have 6 months to address any concerns that they may have. And then they will return in person to visit the campus, only to look at the areas where they were concerned about. If they didn't give us a concern, we got to pass on that. And so I sat on a committee, I sat on one of the teams this last year. We had 4 areas of concern, 4 things that we asked the college about. And they addressed those. When we went back, we were happy. So that's what we sent on to the commission, and the commission passed on them and just reissued their accreditation. So that's what we're hoping for. And Todd is our ALO, and he's going to kind of give you the status of things.
You're going to go through every page by page, right?
Yes, I will.
Actually, paragraph by paragraph.
Word by word.
So you did get the 177-page document. It's actually, with all the evidence, it's way over 200 now. But I just want to kind of highlight a couple things that we recognized as improvement plans. And the ACCJC encourages colleges to say, hey, maybe we could do some, we can do things a little bit better, and being transparent, and this is what we're going to do. It doesn't really have any impact on their decisions in terms of these standards, but it's just being more transparent with them. And as Monica and her team were writing Standard 3 Human Resources, we all recognize, and especially in HR, recognize that we need to improve the employee evaluation process, probably in terms of the amount of evaluations, the percentage of evaluations that are completed. So we noted that. And then in standard 4A in decision-making, over the summer here, we're going to be, we don't have an integrated planning manual that gives a wide picture on campus as how decisions are made and how planning is done. So this summer, we're going to be working on a development of an integrated planning manual. So we should have that done by the time they arrive. They, you know, if the team says, hey, you don't have an integrated planning manual. So yeah, we do, it's right here. And then we also recognized in our quality-focused essay, and the quality-focused essay has no bearing on your accreditation. It's not included in any standards. It's not considered for anything, but it's just a way of the college to say, there's a couple things that, or a thing or two to help students succeed that we can do better. And for this ICER, we chose distance education. We know we have some work to do on distance education. Dr. Walden just shared a article from the LA Community College District that got in a little bit of a trouble for their ADA compliance in terms of their website and their online courses. So that will be a big focus for us in the coming year to make sure we get up to speed on that, because we don't want to be the next victim of that. So what you saw there, the draft that you got, it's still a draft, still being edited. You wouldn't believe the amount, because the ACCJC gives you some standard guidelines in terms of what's capitalized, what's not, what's hyphen, what's not. So you'll see some weirdness in there that you'll be like, hey, why isn't this capitalized? Well, there's a reason for that, because that's what the ACCJC wants. Basically, no hyphens, and the only thing capitalized is when you reference them. And then, so we're still going through the document, doing some editing, formatting, spelling, and we got some evidence links there that still need to be finalized and made live. So that is still going on. By July, it will be pert near just about done, 100% complete, looking good. All of that stuff will be finalized when you get a chance to read it again in July. However, I do want to point out that in its draft form right now, it is pretty much solid in terms of in its content. So from this point forward, there will not be really any substantive changes unless something comes up that we see in there that will require that. But other than that, and of course, if there's any substantive changes, I will point them out from what you will see in July versus what you saw in June. Any questions about the ICER? All right, Tim. So I'm going to move on to the next item.
Yes.
Which was the enrollment management. So this is, and we're still grinding away. We haven't stopped. All the folks in this room are working really hard to make sure that our students are served and they're welcome to VVC. And this is what the outreach department has provided for April and May. There are those two one and done events, 134 students served, walked in the door and got what they needed to get enrolled in courses. And then we still have 3 more of those scheduled for between now and August. Tim? Okay, so where are we at with the high schools? This is the update for today. As you remember, I made this presentation back in March, so those were the March numbers that you saw in March. The total number of seniors continues to decline. I guess I'm not sure why. But as of today, we've had 4,896 applicants that have applied to VVC. 3828 have done their orientation. So that's, again, that's the matriculation process, the orientation placement survey and the abbreviated ed plan. Their placement surveys, English and math, 3858, the abbreviated ed plan, 3,621. And as of today, registered for classes for fall, there's 2,094 students. And you can see from 21 and 22 what a difference we've made. And it's still going to grow, right? This is just today. So if you take a look at the total number of seniors and those that have enrolled, we're at 33.5% right now. But we're expecting that. It's going on every day, so we're expecting that to grow. Tim? So here's summer 22 versus summer 2023, and I'm glad Jennifer's here and Ginny, so I can put the caveat on this that we started enrollment 11 days earlier this year than we did last year. So that means the blocks, the priority blocks, students are hitting earlier, so they're enrolling earlier. So when you see the numbers, I think, Jennifer or Jenny, did we project like 700 FTES for summer that we would generate, something like that? Do you remember? Somewhere around 700. Well, right now we're at a thought, well, this was on the 6th of June. This is the latest numbers we've had. And our FTS is showing 1,025. So if we don't get over 10,000, this... Don't
say it, don't jinx us. Don't do it.
So it should be used a little bit with caution in terms of the percentage gains. We suspect that it will flatten out a bit as they catch up to each other, and they then become term to term like in terms of their numbers. But everything is looking completely awesome in terms of our enrollment. So
How'd that go?
awesome. Tim, next slide. So fall 22-23, of course, we're still quite a bit of ways away. Again, the same caveat. We're running higher right now than we were in fall of 2022. Continue to grow this summer. Outreach is going to be pushing. We're still doing all the media, television ads. The postcards went out. The social media ads. And just people walking on the street. Hey, you want to come to VVC? It'll change your life. Which we know about, right, Deanne? So those are the latest numbers. And I think that's it. Tim? That's it. It's my update. Questions? All right, thank you.
That concludes the president's report.
Okay. Okay, we have reports, 3 minutes limit per report. The purpose of these reports is to inform the Board of Trustees regarding issues pertaining to those constituency groups. Academic Senate. Here?
I don't believe they're here.
AFT part-time.
No.
Are they gone?
They left.
ASB.
On behalf of the ASB, we are going to have our Vice President, Janine Manuel, present something.
Sorry, I was really hungry. Good evening, everyone. My name is Julie Manuel, and I was the 2022-2023 ASB Vice President. I'd like to take this time to, or during ASB's report, to speak on behalf of my team and I's experience at the Bay Area Honors Consortium. If I can get the next slide, please. The Honors Research Symposium is a prestigious opportunity for community college students to showcase their research. And this year, the symposium was held at Stanford University, which is one of the top universities in the entire world. The event was all day, and we had a bunch of graduate researchers that were keynote speakers, and each proposal had an allotted time of 15 minutes to present and was judged to be selected for a couple of awards, such as the opportunity to publish our research paper on an academic journal. If I could get the next slide, thank you. So the process was highly selective and spanned across the entire state. The next slide, please, I'm sorry. Out of 90 proposals, only 10 group presentations were chosen, and of those 10, we were the only presentation to showcase anything within the engineering field. Thank you. The lead presenters were myself, Matthew Sayonara, and Jairo Reynoso. I don't know if you guys remember, but we've been here a couple times for Pepperdine, for just talking about our research in general.
We could never forget.
Thank you. And in addition to us, we also had team members Lillian Thacker and Christina Snape as attendees. If I could get the next slide, please. Next one. So our research was a continuation of our work on wing designs for NASA Armstrong's Prandtl project, which is their R&D mission to reduce drag and promote sustainable aviation. And over the winter, we returned as NASA interns for the internship, and we were also, or myself, Jairo, and Matthew returned as mentors for the next generation of Prandtl interns, or VVC's NASA Prandtl interns. Our newfound research over this winter was highlighted in our presentation, where we were able to confirm that our design with an innovative lift distribution was more efficient than a regular wing, given our mission constraints. And if I could go to the next, yeah. As you can see, that was us presenting. Shout out to NASA for letting us use the actual model to highlight the design of the distributions that we were talking about. So it wasn't just a bunch of pictures on the slideshow. And we were actually selected to open the entire conference. We were the first presenters for the entire conference, which is really, really cool. Thank you. If I get the next slide, please. Yeah. So during our time, we had a chance to explore Stanford. We were able to see their School of Engineering, School of Computer Science, and all the nerdy buildings that we really like. In particular, we also had the chance to receive a personal tour of the Stanford School of Medicine's Research Center, where they're looking at axolotls to try and figure out how we can regrow limbs on humans. And that's on the next slide. Whoa. That's all I could take. I was too excited, and I was looking at everything, so that's why I look so rushed. I'm sorry. It's like somebody's bike, but the labs are over there, if you can see. They didn't have the axolotls there, unfortunately. And the next slide is just a quick thank you. I know I've been here a couple times with my team, but we just really want to reiterate how grateful we are to have a group of students, faculty, staff who are committed to fostering an environment of academic excellence and allowing us the chance to explore our interests in research. Without you guys, there would be no transferring to prestigious universities. There would be no presenting at prestigious universities. I'm really happy to have made my mark on research for VVC. And I'm sure if they were here, which I'm sure they're in spirit. Hopefully they're looking through the Zoom, but we are really grateful. So thank you so much.
I remember that presentation last year because I went home and I said to my wife, I felt like it makes you speechless. Congrats. And you
Okay.
make it sound so easy.
It's all the smartness in her.
Okay, next.
I mean, I'm glad I wasn't in class with you. Wow.
All right, CSCA.
Good evening, Dr. Walden and Board of Trustees. In negotiations, it has been stated more than once the district is following the direction of the board. So I am once again standing here in front of you to not only speak on behalf of the membership, but also to inform you of the continuing struggles in negotiations. I think we are definitely getting closer to finalizing the contract. What's frustrating is the board's direction that the 15 retirees, 7 who worked 20-plus years and 7 who worked 10-plus years, during the period of this contract do not deserve to receive the retro pay that would go towards increasing their monthly CalPERS. Because this contract has taken so long to settle, the years they already worked, they will not be compensated for. This is unfair and it affects the amount of money they have to live on for the rest of their lives. Past practice at this college has always been to include them in the retro pay. What if it was you? Would you still think that it's fair to deny them the pay increase they've already earned? Also frustrating is the job descriptions. When the classification study began, we had 99 classified positions. The study combined several job descriptions into one, bringing the total to 59. CSEA has agreed to 47 of the 59 job descriptions that Coffin Associates recommended. There are about 12 that do not fit the work the employees are doing. Specifically in the IT area, these job descriptions are not interchangeable or generalized duties like the district wants them to be, but the district is unwilling to hear our argument for not combining these specific job descriptions into ones that don't fit the duties the employee performs. We hear in negotiations all the time, we paid a lot of money for Coffin Associates, but in 12 out of 59 cases, COF is wrong. Why not present the managers in these areas the job descriptions CSEA proposes and what COF has proposed, and ask which description fits the employee best? I'm sure the managers know better than anyone what their staff are doing on a daily basis. Instead of continuing to just return the job descriptions unchanged, stating, we paid a lot of money for COF, so we're just going to use what they gave us, because these are general duties they can perform. That makes no sense if the people you're putting in these job descriptions cannot fulfill the duties. In some cases, we are fighting over just job titles, because what COF proposed is a title that sets people back years in their careers and makes it look as if they were demoted. We are told everything was based on the PDQ the employee filled out and that there was an appeal process. Many did appeal the decision along with their respective managers. I was one of those people. My supervisor even suggested another job description that COF had already created fit me better and asked that I be placed there. Everyone was denied with the same form letter. There was really no appeal process. Is the district so stuck on the amount of money they paid for the classification study that they are unwilling to negotiate or listen to anything that goes against what COF proposed? I would hope the district cares more about making sure people are in the right job description with the appropriate title and the salary that reflects the actual work that they do. I'd like to end this by saying thank you and good night. The classified staff are going home because we've been here since 7 a.m. this morning and we must return tomorrow at 7 a.m. to serve the students. So so we aren't rude and just walk out. I just want to let you know that's why we're leaving. Thank you.
CTA. No? No CTA? Management. Huh? We got CTA?
There's so much walking.
I think they're going out the door.
Okay.
Are you CTA or management? Management.
Management.
Okay. Management.
Alrighty. Good evening, President Henderson and Executive Board of Trustees. I am here for the management report, and I'm going to be presenting on a new grant that we received back in April for $300,000 for 2 years, and it's going to be focused on culturally responsive pedagogy. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend the UCLA Conference Center in Lake Arrowhead from Monday to Friday, and trust me when I say it was not a retreat. They had us working until 9:30 every night, just like the students do during the summer retreat in Big Bear. So next slide, please. I wanted to talk a little bit about the grant and how it serves the board goals. The description for the Culturally Responsive Pedagogy and Practices grant that we received, the best practices grants were not awarded to everyone, but it was rewarded to VVC. One-time grants to 8 institutions that develop innovative diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility-minded and culturally competent professional development training for faculty. Trainings focus specifically on nurturing the development of culturally responsive pedagogy in classroom practices for disproportionately impacted and underrepresented communities. I'd just like to thank my colleague, Dr. Young. We co-wrote this grant, and I really appreciate it, and all of the faculty that assisted. Next slide, please. So a team of 4 of us, and the team is actually larger. These are all of the brave souls that were willing to drive up that mountain, which I will never do again. We came together and we talked about our why for professional learning here at the college. So our themes were empowerment, justice, guidance, advocacy, coaching, and development. Next slide, please. Our team consists of chemistry faculty, student engagement center program managers, as well as additional faculty member and deans. Our inquiry questions consisted of how do we foster, encourage, support ownership in professional learning here at the college, and how do we cultivate sustainable communities of practice? So that is what we're looking to do with this $300,000 grant. Next slide, please. This is very small, so for those of you that have glasses, you may need to put them on, but I can read a few of the things. We worked really hard every day to come up with a logic model, activities, deliverables, and outputs between the 4 of us. So one of the things that we're going to be doing this year, we're going to be working on a 16-week culturally responsive, equity-minded course for faculty. We'll also be developing a host of cultural sensitivity training and an equity hour for faculty and students. We're going to be working on with the cooperation and participation of faculty, an equity-minded syllabus for adoption for faculty to adopt if they so choose. We'll also be working on engaging students in planning and developing a student support resource guide for students and faculty. We're also going to be looking to establish several communities of practice focused on embedding equity-minded student learning outcomes into the curriculum. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide again. We identified goals as well as other opportunities that we have here on campus to foster equity and professional learning, and we're looking forward to implementing this grant. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Okay, you did it.
All right.
I had it to you. That was pretty good.
Let me say this, that UCLA Conference Center is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great place to go. You wouldn't know it's up there, but it's a great place to go for 4 days.
Okay, we done? Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the Board of Trustees to be routine and have been approved by the Superintendent President, Board Policy 2430. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time the board votes on them, unless a board member requests a specific item be pulled.
Motion. Second.
Motion, Brady.
Yeah, he decided to show up. He won't be here next month. We'll miss you. We'll miss you. I will. I look forward to seeing you
yay.
every time.
Sorry.
I haven't got it yet.
Advisory vote.
Oh, advisory vote.
Yay.
Advisory vote. There you go.
Her
That's
last
right.
meeting, she gets to do it.
Yeah, she gets to do it.
No more advisory votes for you.
Yeah, that's it. You're done.
You gone.
Yep. Already voted. Can I make a motion to combine the, second reads? Can we combine the second reads or no?
Yeah.
We make a motion as combined second reads 11.2 through
Wait, you mean
11.10.
No, 11.17. No, you're right. So you need a second? You got a second. I'll second.
Wait, what?
Let's see, 11.7, 11.8, 11.9,
On 2 through 10.
11.10, okay.
Well,
Yay.
that's vote.
Approved.
Yay.
Wood and Liberty. Second, and then student advisory review. Was it unanimous?
She said, yeah.
Unanimous. Unanimous.
And we need no, board policy.
Can you do these later, Michelle, or is it best you?
I can do these later, yeah.
Okay, it's just getting really, so,
Late.
like do them tomorrow or something.
Okay, it's unanimous, right?
11, Dennis?
11.11,
Nicholas?
secure ID token authorization and access.
Vote. Second?
I will miss you. Wood is the motion? Oh, where is it? He was louder. Shocker. Student advisory.
Student advisory vote?
Yay.
So you could, if you want to do a motion in a second, do 11.13 through 11.17.
What about 12?
I'm gonna make a motion that
No,
we,
12 you already did.
No, we just did
No, we
11.11.
Oh, it's 12 through 17.
So 12 through 7.
so I'll make a motion that we include 11.12, 11, 13, 14, 15,
Through 7.
and 17.
16 and 17.
Yeah, 16 and 17.
Second.
Yay.
Good job. Girlfriend?
Wow.
Okay.
You punch him, I'm trying to get you out of here.
I love it.
Punch him, I'm trying to get you out of here.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
Signatures? Yep.
12.1, Dennis?
Yeah.
12.1.
Motion?
Second. Yay.
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 So this is almost 4 million from the foundation.
Sheesh.
Will accept.
Let them know that we're a little let down that it wasn't 1.4. Fell a little shy, let them know. that we're-
Don't let them know. He speaks for himself.
She's right there.
Right, I know she is.
She was disappointed as well.
Just hurt my heart.
Okay, where we at now?
13.1.
13.1.
Motion?
Second.
Good job. Good job.
Student advisory?
Yay.
Any discussion? Anything? Oh, you did. I didn't get a
I already
vote.
did the vote.
We gotta do verbal? Are we gonna do verbal?
I think we
She already did, so
Okay.
you said yes.
Okay. Estimate cost for best net services, 13.2.
Second.
Ooh.
Yay.
Thanks, babe.
Any discussion?
Yay, aye, yay, yes.
Yay. Aye. Yay.
Okay, yay.
What's the word, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Mom's the word.
Aye.
Verbal day, everybody?
Yay.
Hey, yeah.
May.
13.3, agreement. Caitlin Gimpler, independent contractor.
Motion?
Second.
Yay.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Agreement?
Trustee Brady, did you say yay?
Yep.
He did quietly.
You said no?
No, I said yay.
Oh,
He said it.
okay. He mumbled it. Agreement, Anna Rios, independent contractor.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
Any discussion?
Yay.
I guess not. Okay, where are we now?
Oh, yay, sorry.
See,
My wife prefers cherry Coke, but I guess we're going.
I know Pepsi again. Everybody likes Coke better. I want that on the record.
okay, 13.5.
Todd already scolded John and cabinet today over this.
Thank you, Todd.
Campus beverage exclusive.
My addiction.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, 13.6, agreement, Shamrock Solutions LLC. Perceptive
Second.
content.
Yay.
Any discussions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 13.7, agreement renewal, Career America LLC, DBA, Ocelot.
Motion.
Second.
Good job, Pink.
Yay.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
13.8, Statewide Association of Community Colleges, Joint Powers Authority.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. 13.9, Protected Insurance Program for Schools and Community Colleges, Joint Powers Authority.
Motion.
Second.
Aye. Or yay.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 23-24 tentative budget.
Motion.
Yay.
Any discussion?
I just want to thank Dr. Walden and John for the work that went into this.
Yeah, a lot of work.
We had a lot of, we had a lot of, we had a big update about this last night, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 1311, resolution of necessity, number 2314,
Motion.
field tough. I can't even finish it before you motioning.
Yeah, we're in a hurry.
You say, you're in a hurry?
Come on.
Couldn't tell.
Okay, I couldn't tell. Yeah.
Can we get some?
Discussion, anybody? Any discussion?
No, John's going to explain this one.
Oh, John's going to explain this one. Explain away, John.
So this original contract was a CMAS contract with Field Turf. It's a state piggybackable contract that in our infinite wisdom, when we were early in the project, we went out and procured this contract in December of 20 for the actual artificial turf supply and installation. And here we are 3 years later, and they're requesting an increase due to the cost of living, basically the escalation of their materials. So we met with a architect. We believe it's a reasonable request. They've been waiting for 3 years to install we kind of jumped the gun. We thought things were going to go a little bit faster than they did, and we ran into that geotechnical issue. And so the delay was on our side, so we agreed with the architect that we felt this was a reasonable request and it met in good faith, we are recommending that we approve this.
How much?
It's like 100 and,
For a total of 923.
yeah, so it exceeds the 10%, so we have to have that resolution of necessity. The next item
And
is
we've still got a contingency line.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, and the next line, or the next item on the agenda is a deductive change order for field turf and like 41,000 that we deleted some of the turf underneath the visitor bleachers in that area. So it nets out a little bit less, but nonetheless, we kind of jumped the gun on procuring this one. And we just felt that's really an important part of our facility, and we didn't want to.
So the net is not really, if you take the next one off, it's more like 90,000 instead of 143.
Right, so
I'll tell you, when you drive by, you see the light fixtures out there. Those are, you're gonna be able to see those from space.
Oh, yeah, and they've started on the grandstands, putting the grandstands together. So there's a lot going on out there, but we just felt that this was fair and we wanted to make sure that they do the best job that they can do, and they're really the best in the field right now. So
Sometimes they're the only ones in the field.
that's right.
So, okay, call for a vote.
Go one
Call
step
for
further
vote.
and say they are the.
They are the field turf.
All in favor?
Aye.
Student trustee?
Yay.
See, I
Okay,
assist-
agreement, thank you. Boy, what a help. Agreement change, order number 2,
Motion?
credit, Field Turf USA Inc.
Motion by Brady.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Student advisory?
Yay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 13.13, Proposition 30, Education Protection Account Expense Determination.
Second?
Okay, I got 2
Yay.
seconds. Who wants a second?
He made it.
Okay. Brady, second. Any discussion?
Yay.
Student advisory, yay? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And should be that. Non-classified short-term employees, 14.1.
We charge $5 for photos, sir. For 10, we'll autograph it.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll have that on Facebook by 8:53.
Okay, do I have a motion on 14.1?
said motion.
Motion, second.
Second?
Yay.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Student advisory, you got it?
Yeah.
She did
Okay.
it.
Instructional curriculum changes, 15.1.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
Discussion? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
2023-24 calendar, academic calendar,
Motion.
Second.
okay.
Who was second?
Any discussion? Student
Aye.
advisory?
Yay.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, contract ed, modification to task order WFCC Victorville.
Motion.
Second.
Okay,
Dr. Dan, is there any
Yay.
money on
There's
this one?
$200,000 income to the district.
super.
Let's take it.
Take it.
That's what this is.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Student advisory?
Yay.
Let's see here. Student service action agenda. Memorandum of understanding, SIBA,
The 15.4.
15.4, sorry, missed one. Sub-guarantee agreement, Cal Poly, Pomona.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
$100,000 income to the district.
Cool. Okay, I already got my student advisory vote. Anybody, any discussion?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, student services action agenda. Memorandum of understanding, Symbia Center.
Motion.
Second.
Yay.
This is an open PO for helping homeless students when they need a place to stay.
Any discussion?
Yay.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you already said yay, right? Okay,
The next items are all
information only.
information discussion. So there's you can see some new board policies that you've all been given copies of. The institutional self-evaluation report, which will be an action item next month. Quarterly financials. I'm sure you want to talk about all that right now.
Yeah, sure.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
All right.
Yahoo! We're out of here.
Just before 9.
Before 9.